Life is gonna punch you in the mouth. Nobody gets a free pass. Problems are guaranteed, pressure is guaranteed, and challenges usually show up uninvited at the worst time with the worst timing. But the suffering part, my friends, that's optional. And I know it sounds like some philosophical Instagram message, but hear me out. Your pain is real. Your challenges, they're definitely real. We don't ignore that. What makes them unbearable is not the event itself, it's the way we react to them. That's why Viktor Frank said in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there's space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That line changed everything for me because most people don't live in that space anymore. We react instantly, emotionally, automatically because everything around us moves at lightning speed. Think about it, notifications, deadlines, pressure, expectations. Everything feels urgent these days. Everything is so loud all the time. We start believing if I don't react fast, I will lose something, I will miss something. But the truth is the opposite. We don't miss opportunities by slowing down. We miss ourselves by reacting too quickly. Why we have become so reactive? Let's talk about that. We're not just mentally reactive anymore, we're physically reactive too. And this matters more than people think because the body affects the mind far more than we are taught. Look at the modern life. The body is stiff, energy is low, mood is unstable, sleep sucks, and most people's posture looks like a shrimp. Men barely touch the ground with their bare feet anymore. Everyone is glued to screens, overstimulated, and undermoved. A reactive mind usually lives inside a reactive body. If the body is frozen, inflamed, tired, and untrained, the mind behaves the same way. Your mind mirrors your physiology. This is why movement isn't just fitness, it's emotional regulation. When the body moves, the mind settles. When the body gets stronger, the mind becomes more resilient. When the body feels free, the mind becomes less reactive. We live in a world drowning in information, but starving for action. We think more information means more solutions. But in reality, more information creates more paralysis. Every scroll adds junk to your mental hard drive. Every notification steals attention. Every random video fills your brain with things you will never use. Information only becomes valuable when it turns into action. I learned this the hard way when I started my fitness coaching business. I was obsessed with perfecting everything from the tech, the apps, the website, the systems. Everything had to look perfect. I was trying to look very professional, trying to be efficient. But the thing that actually moved the needle was talking to people, understanding their challenges, and being present when I was with them, helping one person at a time. That was the 20% that created my 80% of the results. This is called 80-20 rule. It's a big leverage. It is the Pareto principle. One of the most important ideas you can apply to your life or anywhere you want in your life. When you look at the circumstances, you'll see those things. 20% of your habits create 80% of your confidence. 20% of your effort creates 80% of your progress. And 20% of your reactions create 80% of your suffering. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's the one small action that creates the biggest shift? For me, that action was just movement, training, working out, getting out of my head and back into my body. That was the lever that unlocked everything else for me. Let me tell you something real and honest. 9 years ago, I was in one of the darkest chapters of my life. I just got married. I was waiting for my green card. I lost my job because of my expiring work permit. I lost my insurance. I had a serious injury that required surgery. I had $40,000 hospital bills. I was stuck at home for months. At the same time, my mom was dealing with cancer back in Turkey, and I couldn't even be there for her. I felt useless, powerless, and very small. I felt like a boy, not a man. So, how did I react? I smoked weed every single day, played video games to escape reality. I was arguing constantly with my ex wife. That was my reaction. My suffering wasn't coming from my situation, it was coming from me. And one day I said, this is enough. Enough reacting, enough escaping, enough avoiding my responsibilities. My mom was fighting for her life. How couldn't I even fight for mine? That was when Viktor Frank's words became real. I couldn't control my circumstances, but I could control my response to those things. Then the shift happened. I started very small. I started training again, just body weight. I walked, I moved, anything to get my body alive. I stopped numbing myself. I cleaned my environment. I set my goals. Movement gave me that strength. Strength gave me the clarity. Clarity gave me the control that I needed. And when you have control, not over everything, but over how you respond, you gain peace. If you're always overstimulated, anxious, tired, doom scrolling, and comparing yourself, you will start reacting to life instead of steering it. Suffering isn't the storm. Suffering is forgetting that you are the sailor. So, here is the solution. Move your body, even if it's a 10-minute workout, 10 minutes walking. Movements calms the reactive brain. Reduce information overload. Stop doom scrolling. Clean your digital diet the same way you clean your food. Practice the pause. Stop. Breathe. Observe your body. Observe your before you react. Identify your 20%. What's the one thing that makes everything else easier for you? Strengthen your inner world. Be grounded. Be stable. Respond instead of reacting. Because there is a big difference. Pain is part of life. Struggle is also part of life. But suffering, that's the part we get to choose. Life will test you. People will test you. And I will test you if you don't subscribe to my channel. Your reaction is what makes you stronger or breaks you. Train your body, calm your mind. The storm doesn't get easier, but you get stronger to handle those storms.